The beast in Revelation is the government and the mark linked to tax. Standing on America, reaching to Rome with the head and flying around with administrative orders allowing its tail to drug you if you go mad. But Cyril Ramaphosa has proved himself unworthy in the sight of the proud. The gay political regime, spreading its legs from Canada, America and Europe to the rest of the world, but was forewarned. Now he did try to escape in 2023 just before he bought his jet, but this downfall of the glory days for Cyril and Saw marks the chess pieces falling into place for what is meant to be a tragedy for the world and some time to spend away from the next piece to be put into play. The next steps are unclear, but I am sure it will start with some kind of money scheme unless it's crypto and that's already there, and unless it's another COVID as per prophecy. But I do believe the alliance between SA, Russia and China must also come to an end as Zuma was there in 2023 as well and also on his own, I mean in Russia. Russia and China is aiding the conflict between Israel and Palestine, and Saw government had appeared on the stage in Palestine before the microphones and cameras to proclaim its support for the Palestinians just after they started the war again by infiltrating Israel and killing 70 people. I am sure this was not instigated by the moral and ethical convictions of cabinet, but rather the unfortunate pressure from Putin, and this in the midst of the Ukraine war and the sanctions against Russia. This also when Putin expressed his acceptance of the Quran and Muslims in Russia. So most probably Putin's intelligence which orchestrated the mess in Israel and Palestine with Saw as a scapegoat for dealings with Palestine and funneling of supply chains to the Middle East. Eliminating alliances on the basis of necessity. So Russia, China, North Korea I believe is in bed with a lot of trouble. But it is important to note that it is unwise to turn against the nation of Israel. It is also unwise to form alliances with Gog and Magog, which is referred to in the Bible and as Russia and China respectively. Now if I do a quick search on the internet, as but 7 years ago the news came about for the aid from Saw to the Middle East. Zuma is on a cushion because his bum is too old to sit naturally on a chair, but if I am correct the old man will be a contender for the parliamentary circus once Cyril's time is up. But now it will be funny if the populace decides to right the wrongs of the past against Thabo Mbeki, who was the president after Nelson Mandela and who was removed from office to elect Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma who led the country to ruin over his office terms. But I don't want to remind you of the 800 counts of fraud, the state capture from the Guptas, and even the joke in parliament as the president could not articulate the numbers, which was just too many. And then obviously indicate that Jacob Zums was in office when this happened. I would rather state that I think Mbeki was the rightful president, and if the mistake of the voters or cabinet can be acknowledged and Mbeki can return to office, then it might sway the course of history. Other than that, I think we will wait for the autonomous state governed from international borders or elect a white guy. What do you think?